I had the same score as you for the Patriots in my head. I was going to say the Patriots are going to score. Let's preview the championship matchups, baby. We got the AFC Championship game that we played in plenty of times, and actually the last time we played in this game, and that was in Denver. We lost, in the fourth quarter with the final, seconds of the game. Actually, we had a chance with under a minute. Then we got the ball back, and then we had that Hail Mary, and Aqib Talib was chugging down, my shoulder pads and my jersey. I couldn't even jump, but it didn't get called because when it's a Hail Mary, anything goes. But we're about to preview the New England Patriots, at the Denver Broncos for the AFC Championship game. And then we will preview the NFC Championship game where we got the Los Angeles Rams going to the Seattle Seahawks, in Seattle. So let's get into it, Julian. Let's start with the Patriots, obviously, because that's our team. We're rooting for them. We're rooting for Christian Gonzalez, obviously. And what do you see as the key to this game for the Patriots offense?
Key's taking care of the football. Okay, we got to take care of the football. I think there's been 6 fumbles in the last 2 weeks. From our guy Drake. He makes insane plays, but there's been so many times that we've heard in thousands and thousands of meetings going into the playoffs, probably like 100 actually, we didn't play in thousands, that the game's about the team that makes the least amount of mistakes. These games aren't won, they're usually lost. And they were able to overcome last week against Houston with the turnovers and the ball security issues because the defense got a bunch of takeaways and had a heyday against CJ Stroud. But, the key to this offense, especially with no Bo Nix and a backup quarterback coming in on the other side of the ball, you just got to take care of the football. We got to we're going to make plays. Drake knows it. He even said we got to kick the ball after every possession, whether it's a punt or a field goal. And they understand that. It's just we gotta do it now. What's your key, Rob?
Yeah, I would say get after their quarterback. Bo Nix is out for the year. Get after Jarrett Stidham. I mean, the guy's played in how many games? One game in the last 2 years. I think he has 4 starts. Throughout his career, he actually was drafted by the Patriots to be a backup for Brady.
I play with Stid.
You played with Stid as well. So when you get a new guy that's fresh, just getting thrown into the mix, into the playoffs, for the AFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, just get after him, frustrate him from the very beginning, draw up some blitzes. I mean, it's been so long since he's seen live playoff action or just live game action. That is, he probably has never even seen playoff action, live NFL game action. So if you throw blitzes, you throw the schemes, you stunt your defensive line, you bring the linebackers, you throw a safety blitz or a corner blitz in there, just throw him off his game where he has to read the defense and get him confused from the beginning. And Julian, you played with Stidham. I mean, what's the scouting report on him? How many years was it? 1 year that you played with him?
2.
One or two. You played 2 years with him. So what's the scouting report on Stidham? As for me, who never played with him, I feel like he's actually a very, very solid backup quarterback, and it's a very, good situation for Denver to be in. It's not like there's a 7th round pick, draftee that's a rookie as their backup. Like, this guy has experience. He's a veteran. He was in New England. He learned from Tom. He learned from, wonderful coaches there. He played with a lot of great players like yourself. So what's the scouting report on Jarrett Stidham that you saw when you were playing with him in New England, Julian?
A lot has changed. He's a lot older now. That was probably 6 years ago, but Stid was always a pretty accurate, very good guy, had very catchable ball. Smart guy, great team guy. He's got some mobility, but he's not Bo Nix. So I really do. I think you can't sleep on him. The fact that Sean Payton brought him over his first year there and then signed an extension for him going into I think this year tells you that he likes him, that he thinks very highly of him. So whatever they do, I think Jared Stidham's going to be ready. And I think Sean Payton's a good enough coach to get him ready. So I don't think for a second that Patriots have this game 1,000% because they have a backup quarterback. They still got to go out and play a really good game because the Broncos are a very good football team.
Yes, they are. And I agree with you. It's not like, their starting quarterback is out. It's going to be handed to them. Jared Stidham's a very qualified backup quarterback who could possibly be a starter. And this game actually might elevate him to be a starter in the future. This happens to a lot of backup quarterbacks has happened to. Literally, I would say there's minimum $10 million riding on the line right now for Jared Stidham in just
10?
This
I
game.
think it could be way more than that.
I said minimum.
Yeah,
so if he has an average performance and does well, that's like a minimum, like he's going to get 10 mil to be a backup somewhere else. But if he dominates, hey, here's 30, to be our starter for some team that needs a quarterback. But I'm saying just minimum $10 million is riding on the line for Jared Stidham here. And I saw him, I watched the Denver Broncos in preseason 2 years ago. The game was on television and I saw him play and he went out there and he was chucking some bombs. And I felt like he was picking up and grasping Sean Payton's offense very quick in just the first year Sean Payton was the coach. So you can't sleep on Jared Stidham. It's definitely an advantage Patriots that Bo Nix is out, but you cannot sleep on this guy one single bit. And on top of it, he has legs as well. He can run the ball. I remember, I think in a preseason game for the Patriots, I think he went for like a 99-yard touchdown versus the Giants.
Did he?
No. I'm pretty sure.
No, I was there. I don't think so.
If was there another backup?
90, it was our third string dude. It was I forgot he's a coach now. But
who was that? See, that's why I said. All right. I'm getting him confused.
I don't know if it was 99, but it was a long one.
It was a long one. It was like 80
a long one
to 90
against the Giants.
Guys. Yeah, it was against the Giants. I thought it was him, but I'm wrong, Julian. My bad.
No, but I think
that back.
Danny
Etling. That's who it was. All right, so I'm getting them confused right there. I take that back. But shout out to Danny Etling. Whatever you're doing, you had some nice legs in that preseason game, buddy.
Yeah, no, Stid's going to know where to go with the football. He's a smart guy. He's been in the league for a while. He's been under some really good coaches. For me, the Patriots defense, they got to be able to stop the run because they're going to get a lot of RJ Harvey and who's the other guy? McLaughlin. They got to be able to stop the run with Harvey and McLaughlin, and then they got to be able to tackle. Sean Payton is like a screen short pass savant, where he can dial up all these plays and get his players in spaces and catch and run guys. And the Patriots are going to have to tackle because that's how you beat that kind of stuff. You can't let them break a tackle or they go. What are your keys to the Patriots defense?
Well, I kind of already talked about it when I get after Stidham. That was a key I already talked about.
What are you concerned about then?
Okay, what I'm concerned about, kind of, you talked about it. We summed them up pretty well, at the beginning, of talking about the Patriots, is that they got to take care of the football. They got away with it last week, obviously, because Houston decided to turn the ball over even more than the Patriots. That was a game, technically where you would lose 99% of the time, when you turn the ball over that many times, but then with Houston turning the ball over even more, well, then the advantage is, in your favor still, even though you put the ball on the ground that many times. But they got to take care of the ball versus Denver. That's how they thrive. That's how that defense thrives is turnovers and getting the momentum going because, they're dominating on the defensive side of the ball. So they just got to protect the ball, make smart choices, with that football. Don't try to, fit it in where in with a throw that technically shouldn't be thrown that way. Throw it away, make sure you're punting, instead of throwing an interception, make sure you're kicking a field goal instead of going for it when the momentum's not there, and getting stopped and get the points on the board, especially when you're on the road in an atmosphere like Denver.
Yeah, I'm concerned about how they're going to get that defensive line blocked. Last week, a lot of those turnovers came because those guys were on Drake super quick, super fast. And I know Anderson and who's the Hunter. I know Anderson and Hunter are really good, but so are Nick Bonito and Cooper. And they got an Allen in the middle for the Broncos defensive line. That D line's probably, they got the most sacks, I think, in like history, 71. That's insane. They had 71 sacks this year. So how are we gonna block them? Okay, how are we gonna block them? Are we gonna help our young tackle that had a little, Campbell had a little bit of a day last week. That was a little suspect. They kind of teed off on him. They got through him a lot. So how are we going to help him? How are we going to change up? How's Josh McDaniels going to call the plays? How's he going to run away from these? I don't know. I think that's the big thing. How are we going to block this defensive line in passing situations so we don't have to turn the ball over?
Well, for the defense of Will Campbell, it was one of his first games back from injury, Julian.
1,000%.
He was going against two of the best rushers in the game.
I know he's got to go against the next two best rushers. He's got to go against the next two, but I'm not capping on him. I'm not capping. I'm just saying we got to find a way to help our young player out.
And yes, definitely. And he knows that he didn't have a great game either. That's what I really like about him, though, is that he takes responsibility. He's not putting blame on
1,000%.
I didn't.
We got to talk about it. We're just going to go talk about it.
We got to help him out. We got to Hunter Henry, get in there. Austin Hooper, chip the defender. I chip defenders all the time whenever our tackles were having struggles.
That was my concern.
With defensive ends. And there you go. Just chip them. Just let the DN know that the tight end's going to be there before every route, before every pass rush, and he's going to hit you first and slow you down. So that's the way you help out an offensive tackle, especially one that struggled the week before. But they got
to put that in.
Yeah. They got to put that in. And Josh McDaniels will make adjustments like that. And he did with me plenty of times, to help out the tackle. So that's going to be put in, I'm sure, this game coming up, against the defensive line for the Denver Broncos. And the X factor for the Patriots in this one, I'm going to go with the defensive backs, Christian Gonzalez.
Time out. Wait a minute.
Yeah, hold on.
One second.
Okay.
You're going to go wait up. Also, or forget to, they're playing in Denver.
Yes.
We had to invent a new snap count, double silent, because that crowd is so loud, and those freaking defensive ends with Von Miller at the time were getting off the ball so fast. I just want to remind you, Rob, Nick Bonito and Cooper are the fastest get-offs in the league. I think sandwiched in between Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's the second fastest. These guys get off, especially with snap count, especially loud crowd. My concern is that how are we going to block them? That's all.
Here we go.
I'll let you get to your. No,
I want to go off of that. You're right, man. Denver is one of the hardest places to play. You got the elevation, but on top of that, it's
for all
one
you
of the
people
loudest
listening,
crowds. One of the loudest crowds in the NFL. It's Seattle's the 12th man. Also, Denver has a 12th man as well because it's
top three for sure.
I always think hear Kansas City, the quarterback Seattle, in the huddle.
Denver. Those are outdoor loud.
I would say that.
Are the outdoor louds.
I would agree. So in this case, to be ready for that crowd and be ready for that silent count, they better be on that silent count on every single snap this practice, with the speakers blaring the loudest music, where all of Foxborough and all of the city of Boston from the music coming from Foxborough can hear it as well 30 miles away in the city of Boston. That's how loud those speakers need to be to replicate, how loud the crowd's going to be in Denver. So now let's get back to the
different snap counts.
And different snap counts, one silent count, two silent counts, three silent counts. You got to switch it up. You can't let the defenders, catch on and get in a rhythm with the silent count, or else they're going to be so far ahead of the snap count that the offensive tackles won't even have a chance then. So got to switch it up. But now let's get back to the X factor for the Patriots on this one, for this game. I'm going with the defensive backs, Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis, because if they dominate, their wide receivers, if they cover them like how they should cover them, well, guess what? That's going to make Jarrett Stidham that much more frustrated. The guy that barely been playing, he's been a backup, has no snaps this year, at the quarterback position. If the DBs come in hot and cover like how they can cover, at top of their game, that's going to be the X factor, going into this Sunday in the AFC Championship game. And Denver's wide receiver unit is banged up too, so it can make it that much more harder.
1,000%. That's a great X factor, Rob.
I'm going to go Julian. With. I appreciate that. You're so nice, man. You're a good guy.
I like it. It's a good one.
What's your X factor?
My X factor,
besides these guns right here that are on me. Look at me. I'm flexing. I just worked out yesterday, so I'm feeling jacked.
I need to get.
But what's your X factor?
My X factor is special teams. Marcus Jones. I think an explosion play early in the kicking game will shut that fucking crowd right up. Okay, it'll shut it up. What do you have to do to shut the crowd up? You make a play, you do it early, and they're out of it. Okay? Marcus Jones, let's house a punt. Let's house a dynamic kickoff rule thing, whatever we want to call that play. We need something explosive in the kicking game. Maybe a punt where there's sun work in from Denver, because it's always fucking sunny there in January anytime we play there. And the sun gets reflected in the punt returner's eyes and he muffs it. We need an explosion play in special teams. That'll be the X factor. On to the next one.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Julian. I like it. You're right, though. You got to shut the crowd up right away, bright and early. And that's how you do it, man, especially on special teams. Like, yeah, you can have a pick on defense. You can make a big play on offense to shut the crowd up, but nothing shuts the crowd up even more than a big special teams play. So I like that one. Marcus Jones, He is an X factor as well when he gets going. I mean, his speed and quickness is just ridiculous. He's
a great Patriot. Just like
he really
six
is.
Last week. He's been huge in the return game. That is like, he's a Patriot.
And what makes him a Patriot is that he didn't have a role or a position or what he was going to do, when he got to the, Patriots. It's how can you carve a role out from all the hard work that you put in? And that's what makes you a great Patriot. And that's why. And that's what's making him a great Patriot, because he's finding a role on the defensive side of the ball and also on special teams. Big time.
Second team All-Pro. All right, now let's get into the keys for the Broncos offense. Broncos offensive keys to victory. For me, I think it's very similar to the Patriots. Let's play to the strength of our team. Our strength of our team is our defense. We have our backup quarterback in, so our offense, let's not fuck it up, okay? Let's punt or kick field goals after every drive. Let's not turn the ball over, give a short field to a Patriots team that's got a quarterback that can run all over the field on you if some crazy shit happens. So for me, backup quarterback on offense. Let's have good operation. Let's have great communication, because when we have the home field, it's going to be our advantage. Let's get the right play called. Stidham can do that. And let's take care of the football. That is the key for the Broncos offense. For me, what is your key?
I mean, control the
coach
game.
Mode right there.
Yeah, you did, man. That was impressive. Control the game. Control the line of scrimmage. I mean, you already brought it up, but you can't emphasize it enough even more. Play into your defense. Don't turn the ball over. Give your defense, great field position instead of, a turnover, trying to squeeze in a big play when it's not there. Don't force the ball. Throw it away when it's needed. So it's kind of the same. You talked about it, Julian, just now, and also get Jarrett Stidham going. Don't try to make, all pro throws right from the get go. Have a couple sweeps. Have a couple swing passes, couple slants, couple diagonals. Couple hook routes. Get him going. Get him to feel comfortable in the pocket and get him in a rhythm instead of trying to throw deep right from the beginning.
Love that.
What would you say some of the keys to the game for the Broncos on the defensive side of the ball, Jules?
Defense, we got to pressure Drake Maye. We got to do everything that Houston did last week. Copycat league, do everything Houston did last week and see if they got it cleaned up, and then have a couple new wrinkles on those like third downs. Got to throw plays. Let's see what they can do, and let's see if they can protect, because we got guys too. We got Cooper, and we got Benito, and we got Allen, and they got a whole bunch of guys. So let's get Drake uncomfortable, and they got to stop the run, because the Patriots offense got a sneaky, really, really good run game.
They really do. And you just took that one from me, Julian. You said put pressure on Drake Maye. Well, I was going to say they got to stop the run better than last week. I mean, they gave up 118 yards to James Cook. I mean, but James Cook got to give him, his credit as well. He averaged the most yards, per game in the NFL this year. But the Denver Broncos need to stop that run game of the Patriots. That their run game is very, very sneaky as well. And the Denver Broncos, they struggled on the early downs. And we talked about it, same with the Patriots offense a little bit versus Houston. So if Patriots, want to take advantage of Denver, they got to move the ball, on first and second down. And Julian, last week, I got to give you kudos. You said, hey, the Patriots, they need to move the ball on first and second down, take 4 yards on each of those plays. So it's third and short. Well, I was listening to the game in the first quarter. What does Troy Aikman say? He goes, the Patriots are struggling right now. You want to know why? He said it was along this lines, because they're in third and long throughout the whole game so far in the first quarter. And that just lit up a bell. It lit up a light in my mind and said, that's what Julian said right from the beginning last week. The Patriots need to move the ball, even if it's 3 yards per play on first and second down. So they're in third and short and third and manageable, so they can complete those third downs and keep the chains going. So same thing, that's a great tip once again, especially with the Denver defense struggling, on the early downs last week.
1,000%. I mean, you can't do all the fancy, cool stuff with your defensive line if you're in 3rd and 3. You can only do that with 3rd and 7+. That's when it starts. That's when it gets home. That's when the pressure's there. That's when you know what I mean? So if you can get those third downs along, that's when you get to see Nick Benito and Cooper do their little.
Yes, no doubt about that. And also one other thing as well is, like, the Buffalo Bills on the very first drive last week versus the Denver Broncos, it was very impressive what they were doing. It was really deceptive on the offensive side of the ball. It was like a college offense, and it was throwing the timing off of the Denver Broncos defense. And I really loved what the Buffalo Bills were doing, and they moved the ball right down the field on that first drive because of that reason. There was so much going on, so much motion. And what really stood out was the play action on that first drive. Josh Allen, he kind of slid to the left, 2 yards, and then he threw the ball. I never seen a quarterback not drop back. He slid to the left. That's how deceptive, their play calling was, that they were drawing up on that first drive. They kind of got away from it for the rest of the game, but that was working. So I wonder if the Patriots are going to take note of that and have a couple plays where it would throw off the defense if they copycat the first drive of the Buffalo Bills last week.
I like that. What are you concerned about for the Broncos?
I mean, we kind of talked about it. The run defense, they gave up all the yards last week to Buffalo Bills. Also, I'm just concerned, can they put a complete game together? They really haven't done that. They've been winning, but they've been struggling winning games. Once again, I mean, they kind of got away with it again last week versus the Buffalo Bills. Can they get away with, their mistakes and be able to conquer a team like the Patriots? I don't think so. This is a game where Patriots take advantage of the other team's mistakes. That's what the Patriots do. especially throughout the whole year this year. They're a sound team. Yes, they've been turning the ball over and putting the ball on the ground a lot, on the offensive side of the ball, but that's not going to happen again. I don't think. I feel like they're going to button it up. So the Denver Broncos, they just need to, get that going right from the beginning.
What is Mike Vrabel's quote? We just want to be good enough to take advantage of bad football.
Exactly.
That's a great quote.
Exactly. And that's exactly what he's saying. That's exactly what I was just explaining, is that the Broncos, play some bad football at times. They don't button it up. And that's the concern for the Denver Broncos. I mean, that's fine with me if they don't do that.
I don't think they play that bad of football. They just don't turn the ball over a bunch.
They just don't get it going.
Yeah, they don't get it going. They don't get in a rhythm.
Yeah. And that's kind of it, though. That's kind of a turnover. You don't get in the rhythm. You're punting 3 and out. You're moving the ball 2 yards and you're punting. That's a turnover right there to me when it's that quick of a 3 and out and you only take 30 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, I like that. I'm concerned. Like, I think Stid's good and all, but I'm still. You're going to the AFC Championship with the guy that hasn't started in a while. I'm concerned. I'd be concerned about how is our backup quarterback going to play on the biggest stage of all stages other than the Super Bowl? Like, this is a big stage. And he's not going against – he's going against probably the sneakiest defense left. Like, no one talks about this defense, but they have put together a nice little resume, even though it's against bad teams everyone wants to talk about. But, Milt Williams and Barmore in the middle are insane. Christian Gonzalez and Davis on the outside, really good. They're getting really good production out of Woodson, the safety from Cal. Like, they got defensive playmakers. And they know how to play, and Vrabel's a smart freaking dude that's going to have some wrinkles to try to confuse that backup quarterback. They're going to do something that they haven't been doing, probably. So, I'm concerned about that. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I can't wait to watch.
It really will be. I think Denver has the advantage because it's at home, but I think the New England Patriots have a better team. So it's going to make this game that much more special because of those two scenarios. There's advantage on both sides of the ball.
I think the Broncos have more better players, but I agree with you. The Patriots have a better team right now.
Exactly, Jules. That's what I'm saying, baby. So with that being said,
and it has nothing to do with Sean Payton and his coaching. I just think that when you lose your starting quarterback, that's different. That's a different team.
I mean, the Patriots just gel together. They're one of the best gelling teams, I would say top 3 gelling teams, since beginning of the year in the NFL. And with that being said, let's have some AFC Championship predictions here. Julian, who's going to win this game?
Going Patriots 24-17.
I like it.
24-21.
I actually
24-21.
Not going to lie. I had the same score as you for the Patriots in my head. I was going to say the Patriots are going to score 24. The Patriots are also going to win. And since you said 24-21 Patriots, I'm going to say 24-18 Patriots win this game. It's a revenge. It's a revenge game for us, Julian. It's a revenge game. We lost there in 2016 AFC Championship game. Well, this is the revenge for the Patriots versus the Denver Broncos. They're going to win this game and take it home and go to the Super Bowl.
That's going to be awesome if they can get. I mean, it's hard to play there, but I just, it's tough. You got a backup quarter. We don't know. I know Stid. He's a great player, great backup, but like when you're playing again in scout team, going against the one defense where they can't hit you, I mean, it's different than playing live bullets, well-oiled machines, teams that have been playing freaking great football for the last 2 months.